Good morning, everyone, and happy Friday. Always surprises me when Friday's here. It's like it comes very quickly. And it's time for another Friday morning live. So thank you for joining me, whether you're watching the replay or whether you're watching us live. So it is back to school, which means it's time to get back on track. And I thought, like, we've kind of talked about this a little bit in the past. Oops. Excuse me. I'm just making sure I'm in the right group. It's always important because we got a lot of groups, and many times, not many times, but sometimes I'm in the wrong group, and then people are like, "Where are you? I can't find you." At any rate, we've talked about this probably since the end of July a little bit because I know people don't want to hear about back to school stuff while it's summertime. And then we talked about this a little bit about in August, and no one wanted to hear about it in August. Now we're at the end of August, and September's coming. And I gotta tell you, I was warning people to do your best to stay on track. But summertime and barbecues and camping, yeah, it's an issue. It's a challenge. And we've already heard from quite a few people that are like, I haven't done anything. So you're not alone. I'm in the right group. We're good to go. You're not alone. So we got to talk about getting back on track. School is here. Kids are going back soon. Teachers are going back. Do I have my setup done right? Teachers are going back. We gotta get back on track. Good morning, Suzanne. Suzanne says, "Good morning, everyone. Thanks for joining us." So we gotta talk about getting back on track because what I just talked about a lot of times. Sorry, I'm running into a minor issue there. I think it's fixed. Okay, so that's what I'm going to talk about today. I did want to mention a couple things. One of them was our new greens product. That's our newest product is the greens, and it's going absolutely bonkers. So I don't want to talk about that too much because we just did a morning, Dorothy. Dorothy is at school. Got a little sunshine. I like that. My sunshine. Dorothy's back at school. That's why she's not here with me. But our greens are going bonkers. I had no idea, honestly. You know what's funny is that sometimes you launch a product and you expect it to do really well. We're very fortunate. Our audience is amazing, so our launches usually go pretty well. But sometimes you have a new product and you expect it to do really well, and it does like okay. And the greens, like, I wasn't expecting too much because people in green stuff kind of odd with the whole green stuff. So didn't expect the greens to go so well, but people are going crazy over the greens. So we're pretty excited about it. You know, we broke it down. So they're tabs. And the reason we went with tabs is because otherwise you have the powder, and the powder doesn't taste very good. And then you have to put it in juice or water, and if it doesn't taste good, you're not going to want to drink it. And then the flavored powders usually have like sucralose, or I look at even protein powders have like hydrogenated oils, for example. So they have a lot of toxins in them if they're flavored. So we thought, what about tabs? And the tabs are little tiny ones, so they're easy to swallow. And one little tab is a whole plate of veggies, which is amazing to me. That's what it's worth. So it has over 40 vitamins and minerals in there. And all you have to do is swallow the little tab. You don't have to cook. You don't have to go to the grocery store. You don't have to watch your veggies. And don't get me wrong, we're plant-based people. We believe in food above all else. But what's nice about these greens is they actually are food. They're algae. They're grown in fresh water. They're plant-based, of course. And they're absolutely amazing. I've already seen results myself. So as Dorothy, she used the spirulina before runs, and they're great for before activity. So at any rate, like I said, I don't want to talk about them too much, but they're going over fantastically, and we've already got them in a lot of people's hands. Today's another big pickup day, so we're going to get those out to more people. And the other one is chlorella, and chlorella is detoxing, it's binding, also has a number of vitamins and minerals, has omegas in there, has omega-3. So this combination is a really nice way. And we actually broke it down. The big bag, we got 1,000 tabs in the big bag. That is less than 18 cents for a tab, which is crazy. So that's a plate of veggies for 18 cents. I don't know. Sounds like a pretty good deal to me. Of course, it's a bigger cost up front, but if you're traveling, if you don't feel like making veggies for a night, for example, if you missed your veggies throughout the day, most people don't eat veggies throughout the day. They eat veggies maybe at dinner time. And then, of course, they lose a lot of the value when they're cooked and overcooked and boiled. So, at any rate, that's my greens talk. But they're going over amazing. Dorothy and I take them every single day in the morning and in the evening, and we are feeling fantastic. Thanks for all the tags, Dorothy. Dorothy is going tag crazy. So we just finished that launch, which went amazing. But so when it comes to back to school, we've talked about in the past how September is our busiest time, without question. This is it. It's coming. Everyone thinks it's January as a nutrition and fitness company. Everyone thinks it's January. Like January is like a huge rush to the gym or to fitness types of people, but it's not January. January is like people are exhausted from traveling or from visiting friends and family. They're exhausted like emotionally, physically, from feeling guilty from eating too much food. So they're not really like all that motivated. And the other thing is that finances are usually drained because of the holidays, because of Christmas and presents and gifts and foods. So you're spending more. So people usually wait till February, March, and then it's like March. Then that gets pushed to like March, April, and the sun starts to come out, and people are spending more time outside. So they're like, okay, beach buddies. So it's not January or not even February is a busy time for us. It's September. It's right now. It's after a long summer of people just doing whatever they want. It's like spring break for adults. People just doing whatever they want out of their regular routines, trying to figure out how much they're going to enjoy being outside in the warm weather, the warm atmosphere. So, but that's the reason. So we have to talk about getting on track right now because a lot of people have not been on track. You know what I'm going to do? I thought, why not do 2 for 1 here? I'm going to do a live on my TikTok account. I don't do this very often. It's a new kind of thing, like jumping on TikTok. If you guys are on TikTok, you're not going to stay there for me, are you? If you guys are on TikTok, it's just Drew Tadia. And I don't use it. I don't use it that much. We have Nick, our assistant, who posts most of our videos up there. But at any rate, so how can we get back on track? What are the things that we can do to get back on track? So we hear this time and time again, but it's so important to understand that we need to have a plan. Like you need to have a plan of attack. So now that we're going into the school season, or now that we're back in school, the kids are back in school, our parents who are mostly listening to this have a better opportunity to take more time for themselves, but they don't know what to do. Like, okay, I got to get back on track, but how do I do that? Like, am I going to start eating food? What does that look like? Better food, start preparing. We're at home. We're not camping so much. We're not away or traveling over the weekends. What are we going to do to get back on track when it comes to nutrition? And what does that plan look like? And it's the same thing with fitness. Where am I going to work out? Is it going to be at home? Is it going to be at a gym? What gym? Fitness classes, personal training. So there's so much and it's overwhelming. The problem is if we don't take action now, if we don't do something about it, it's going to be mid-September. It's end of September. We're going to be like, oh, I just got to get the kids involved. I have to get the kids involved in sports and signed up. And I haven't really done anything for myself yet. Then it's going to come to October. So like September is going to fly by, back to school stuff. October is going to come. Then we're going to have Halloween and Halloween candy. And then what do we have? I think we got Thanksgiving in there. I should know, right? We got Thanksgiving in there. And then we have Christmas. So it's like, if you don't start now, if you don't decide, what's going to happen, what my plan is going to be like to get back on track, to live a healthier lifestyle, then we're not going to get back on track. It's not going to happen. September is we're going to try like a few things, wishy-washy, not have a clear plan, clear idea. Then it's going to be December and it's the new year. And we missed the whole fall of getting on track after a summer of when we know we probably weren't doing the right things that we're doing. And I'm not saying that, I'm not pointing fingers. I'm saying I've already had a handful of people saying like, they like look at me like a bit guilty and they're like, I haven't really done anything all summer. And I'm like, it's okay. Excuse me. I'm like, it's okay. You're not alone. You know, the thing is, it's the guilt that really gets people of like really feeling bad that they haven't done anything. So we got to get rid of that guilt, but we also have to come up with an action plan, because if we're not doing anything about it, if we're not like, okay, let's make a new decision, let's make a new choice, and then we have to put action around that conscious decision, then we can make some progress. But if we're not making a decision and creating action, then what's the point? Cindy's in here. She says, I'm still on track. It just changed location. Awesome. Congrats. Morning, Greg. How are you guys doing? We are going to see you guys tonight. Looking forward to having you guys back here with us. And then Annette's in here. Morning, Annette. Annette just ordered. Annette got her greens, and she ordered some of our other products too. So thank you very much for your support, Annette. We appreciate you and your support. Actually, in one of our other groups, I posted a picture of our dog treats. So I'm a dog fanatic. When I'm in LA, I walk the neighbors' dogs, and then I'm walking the dog, and there's a lot of dogs in the area. So we always talk with the neighbors, and then the dogs play, and you talk to the dogs and the neighbors. I actually enjoy it. But here in Alberta, you don't see too many dogs. I have a couple friends that have dogs that I like to hang out with, spend time with. But anyways, yes, just it was National Dog Day, and we've been giving out treats just for fun, like no other reason, but to say here's a nice little treat. Hey, morning, Zach. Have a good day, Cindy. And so we've been giving out dog treats, and people have been sending me videos of their dog enjoying the treats, videos or pictures. And it sounds funny, but I love it. Like, makes my day. Doesn't matter what I'm doing. If I'm working on something, I get a message of like a dog enjoying our treats. But I think we need that. Like, you need things that are uplifting. So that could be an environment, a positive environment. It could be a spouse or family member, a child. Like, that's a dog for a lot of people and their families. So it's really enjoyable for me to get a chance to see people, and you get that personal touch, right? Then you get a chance to know more, and that's what we're about. Like, we want to be personalized, and we want to know our community. We sat down a few years ago with a business coach, and we basically tear apart our entire business and find ways to improve and get better. And so she was going through our ideal, we could call it an avatar, or your ideal client or customer. And we knew, and she was like, and she's been doing this for 20 years, and she's like, oh my gosh. And we were talking about people's first names and last names, of course, their kids, their pets. And she was blown away. She said, I've never sat down in front of a customer or a client and had someone know as much about their personal clients as much as you guys do, our customers. And I just thought that was a really nice compliment. And the dog treats kind of take that to the next level of, we get to see people's dogs in their homes. And at any rate, it's really fun. It's really fun for us to get a chance to. I'm like, hey, Dorothy, did you get a chance to see this video? So she comes over and we have a good laugh. Annette says, I'll get a video of Bentley for you later while I give him his treat. Awesome. Thanks, Annette. So when it comes to getting back on track with this conversation, when it comes back to finding ways to get back on track, we need to come up with a plan. And like, people don't want a plan. I don't know. That's great. Like teachers, we have a lot of different, my dogs are waiting on their treats. We give out treats with orders, Dave. So I'm waiting on your order to give you dog treats. We actually got a chance to spend some time with Freddie. And what's the other one's name? I only met the newer edition one time. So good dogs. Very good dogs. I really like dogs. I feel like I like dogs too much. It's like a weird obsession. I'm like, we'll be walking the dog. I'm like, hey, can I pet your dog? And they're like, okay. Is that weird for maybe kids? Kids are like, oh, can I pet it? But adults, I don't think they usually are like, can I pet your dog? Roxy, that's right. Roxy. So Freddie has some company now. Freddie's got Roxy, and Freddie does not behave himself when Roxy's around, which is all the time now. It's been a long week. I feel like I'm losing my voice already, and we're just getting started. Maybe I'll try some water instead of tea. Okay, so we got to make a plan. I mean, there's no real way around that. My cats are looking for their treats. Oh, we got to get into cat. We got into get into the cat business. You know what's funny is that we thought about, oh, like maybe we should sell the dog treats, and we might, because people are like, oh, my dog's picky, but we love these treats, and these treats are baked, and they're very clean actually. But I was like, maybe we should sell the dog treats, which it's something that we consider because people have often messaged us like, where can I buy those dog treats? My picky dog loves them. So it doesn't really go along with our supplement business, but it's fun. We have new products and new ideas, and for me right now, it's more fun to give them away and get pictures come in. I feel like it's a nice energy, like you give and take. That's a proper relationship. I feel like we run into a lot of relationship issues when it's always like take. But at any rate, I think if you were to sell, then you can't expect something back because you're exchanging money. At any rate, I'm having a good time with the dog treat thing, and I never really thought about getting into it. It was just a fun marketing idea, and just to give something a little extra to our customers. So who knows, Suzanne? Maybe we'll get into the cat. It's a cat. I don't know much about cats though. To be honest with you, I don't know if cats like treats or I don't know. I don't know what they do. Cats are always like like for me, I feel like I have a connection with dogs. It sounds funny. We're talking about dogs on the show, but whatever. We always talk about random things, but I feel like I have a connection with dogs. Like I can tell what they're like. Like some people get like when a dog growls, for example, they get like freaked out. Or sometimes dogs fight, and then sometimes they're not really fighting. They're just saying, "Hey, that's not okay." There was a whole summer in LA where we had different dogs. We did like this dog sitting program. We had different dogs over all the time, and I learned a lot. But sometimes dogs, like when they like kind of bite at each other, they're not really fighting, or they growl or snap. They're just saying, "Hey, that's not okay." And like we've been in some situations where dogs were actually fighting, and it was a bit scary and dangerous, but it's very rare. And if you're watching, and if you know what you're watching for, it doesn't really happen too much. But at any rate, if you pay attention to the dogs and they have their own energy and they have their own personalities, you can understand them. And I have a really good connection with dogs, but with cats, I have no idea what they're thinking. I feel like cats kind of crack me up a little bit. Like they don't. This is just my perspective, so you can correct me, Suzanne. But I don't feel like they're not like cuddly. They don't really want much. They only come around when they want like some food or a treat. They that's how I see it. But dogs are like at your feet. They like follow you around, or like they want to sit with you, or they want you to talk to them, or they want you to give them treats or walk them. I feel like dogs are a bit more personal. That's why people get so connected to them. Or like families that have dogs, like that's a family member now. And which was really interesting because when we were in Sri Lanka, the dogs were very different, like wild dogs everywhere. It was crazy. Like I felt really bad for them. It was like literally survival of the fittest. It was like animal kingdom out there. There were dogs starving. There were dogs like chewed up. They got into fights, and like it was actually really sad. But the people, they didn't keep the dogs inside. Like they had pet dogs, but they didn't name the dogs. The dogs mostly like hung around their neighborhood or their yard, and that was like their pet. It was really different, like really different experience. And of course here, dogs are like family members. They sleep on your bed and you carry them around in purses. Could you imagine like Like someone that grew up in Sri Lanka. And they like came here to North America and they're like, why does that person have a dog in their purse? It'd like be such a different experience. Let's see what we got here. Suzanne says they love them in my house. They think they're dogs. Oh, your cats think your dogs. They're dogs. And you have been around the wrong cats. Yeah, maybe. It's possible. That I think cats are cool. I like the big cats. I like watching the tigers and how they like hunt and how they work together. That's really cool. But and of course they represent the little cats, which is where the little cats came from. The big cats, I'm pretty sure, in evolution. I don't know, but I think cats are really cool, and I think there's a lot of history with like Egyptians and cats and that kind of thing. But I've never got into like any personalization with cats. We don't have any connection. Plan. You've got to come up with a plan when it comes to nutrition. So what are you going to do when the kids are going back to school now? So some of the kids are in school, some of them going in this week, or I don't know about today, but next week for sure. So kids are going back into school. What does your plan look like when it comes to nutrition? It really, like, no one wants to talk about goals. I like to say achievements. What are your achievements? What do you want to accomplish with that nutrition? Most people want to lose some weight, which isn't a great goal if you ask me, but most people want to lose everything they've gained over the summer. We have to come up with an achievement that we're working towards. And I always like that to be an action. That action, in most cases, is more suited for an action like going like a run, like a marathon or a fun run. Dave has committed. Are you still here, Dave? He's going to do a Spartan run. We're going to do one together. Dave's lost some crazy like 70 pounds or something like that. Good morning, Dan. Thank you for joining me. We were talking about dogs, but now we're talking about getting back on track. So your achievement needs to be something that you're working towards. Like Dorothy's working towards her first marathon, for example. It doesn't have to be running. I did a whole video series of walking on my hands, doing handstands. Like that's an achievement I wanted to do. It could be a muscle up, for example. It could be a pull up. There's tons of things that it could be, but I really feel like it has to be an action that you're working towards. Otherwise, like no one wakes up and says, can't wait to get better at losing weight today. Like, you know what I mean? Like that's not something that is sustainable in most cases. And even if you're losing some weight, you hit that wall before long because you're like, I don't have anything to work towards. I just got tired of losing weight. Like it's not an action. Losing weight is a byproduct of living a healthier lifestyle. You get more active, you get moving, you eat better. That's a lifestyle. And then the weight comes off. It's not those people that are tunnel vision of just losing weight. You try all the fads, you try the shakes, and you try the 21-day fix. You try all that nonsense that doesn't work. Like these are sustainable changes that last, and it's got to be lifestyle. It's got to be an achievement that you're working towards. Dave says Spartan 2022. Let's do it. Where are we going to do it? We got to have a specific date and time we're going to make happen. And then Suzanne says, my cats come when they're called and sleep with me. Oh, well, there you go. Just like dogs. So that's the actionable plan. It's just not just nutrition, it's fitness. Like what are you working towards? And what is that achievement that you want to accomplish? That's where it's got to stem from. And I feel like if more people would set those types of achievements and work towards them, they'd be much better off. Most people don't know how to set goals, so they don't know how to achieve goals, which means they've tried setting smart goals in the past that don't work, and then they don't want to talk about goals. They don't want to listen to goals because they've tried them in the past and they haven't worked because they don't work. You have to set an achievement. So same thing when it comes to that nutrition, you set yourself up a plan. So maybe could be with a professional or it could be yourself, but making yourself a meal plan makes a huge difference. So Dorothy and I do that all the time. We do it for ourselves. So we say, what kind of meals do we want to eat this week? And then we make grocery lists from those meals. So same thing with our Fit Fam, for example. So with our fitness family, we provide meal plans and sometimes we provide grocery shopping lists, but we also want this to be a lifestyle change. So we don't do every single thing for them. What we do is say, sometimes we say, often we say, here's the meal plan, is our weekly meal plan. So you know exactly the foods that you're creating, which is what we do ourselves personally. And then you say, okay, I don't have this ingredient. I don't have this ingredient. You make yourself a grocery shopping list, and you go to the grocery store and buy it. So those of you, if you're not part of our Fit Fam, or if you're not having a professional do that for you, decide what meals you want to make in the week. This is very important, especially with kids back to school, especially with different work schedules. Now that the fall is coming, or the end of summer is here, set yourself up with a meal plan. Know exactly what you're going to consume throughout the week, and then you can know what groceries to buy. And what's important about this is that once you know what groceries you're going to purchase, you're not wasting food. A lot of people just go to the grocery store, toss some things in their cart, don't know what they're going to make with the food, don't know what night of the week they're going to prepare that food, and it kind of sits there, goes bad, they throw it away, which is a giant waste of money. So making that plan is super important. And the same thing with fitness. Like we should all know what workouts, like where are you going? Like I know exactly what workout I'm going to do and where I'm going to work out. Like I know that the day before, and it's very consistent for me. Like in LA, I love going over the workout over the ocean. Hey Dave, did you see that there's a shooting in Redondo Beach? It's crazy. I don't know if there's ever been one. Not anytime soon. I hadn't heard one, but there was just at the pier, at the Redondo Pier. It's kind of crazy. I'll send you the news clip. But I don't know where I was going. Oh, so when I'm at the beach, I know exactly where I'm going. I got my TRX. I got my ocean view. I love working out that spot. I go there every day. It's medicinal for my mind. It helps clear my mind, mentally, physically. So now I've created the same thing in Olds. So I know exactly what park I'm going to, where I'm going to work out, where I'm walking to. I know what my workout is. See, the thing is, a lot of times people wake up in the morning and they don't really know, like, am I going to the gym? Am I going to go to a fitness class? Which fitness class should I sign up to? What workouts? What am I going to do when I get to the gym? Like, it's so important to understand, like, if we already have that plan, if you already know what you're going to do before you wake up, before you get to your workout area, it could be in your home, it could be at the park, before you get to the gym, if you already know what you're doing, you're already head above shoulders half the people that don't make it. So to find that success, you decide beforehand, because like it's so easy to be like, oh, you got to make those decisions when you wake up. Like we're not motivated when you wake up in the morning. Very few people are. So you're not like, oh, jump out of bed and go exercise. You have that self-talk of like, I don't really want to exercise today, or I don't really want to do that, or and then you come up with a bunch of excuses like, I don't know what I'm going to do anyway, so I'll just do it tomorrow, or I don't know what vehicle or I'm going to drive, or I don't know how I'm going to get there. Like if you decide all those things in advance, then you'll be much better off. You'll have much more success, I suppose, in making that happen. The biggest challenge is to create routines. And if you have proper routines established, then it makes it's night and day. It makes it so much easier. So what we try to do is get our people into routines. So we say, okay, we like in our Fit Fam, we do workouts. So we do our we provide a workout schedule on the weekend. And then on Monday, our Fit Fam knows exactly what we're doing. We're going to start live workouts again on Tuesday, Thursday mornings. So our Fit Fam works out with us live, but the Tuesday, that's Tuesday, Thursday. So when we're not doing live workouts, they have a workout schedule. So they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to setting routines. We want you guys to work out in the same place and the same day at the same time. So what that does is take the thinking out of it. So you wake up at whatever time you wake up. What time do people wake up at? 6 maybe? Let me know in the comments. What time do you guys wake up in the morning? So you wake up at 6 maybe. Maybe you have a little bit of snack. I like to have banana peanut butter. First thing I do is before I get out of bed, I take my activated charcoal. It's sitting on my nightstand. And then I go through some stretches. And then I'll grab banana peanut butter. And then I take my spirulina tablets. So actually I take my magnesium first, but I mean, they're not going to conflict. banana peanut butter. This morning, actually, I had banana peanut butter. I was sipping on my magnesium, and then I popped some spirulina tablets. And that's like it's like a mini breakfast, right? And then maybe I'll go work out, or I'll drink my tea. I usually drink a pu'er green tea concoction with MCT oil, grass-fed butter, and then I have a second breakfast. So Zach says he's up at 5:30. Thanks for sharing, Zach. So everyone has a different routine, but you have your routine. It takes the thinking out of it. Maybe you go to your mat and then you start working out, for example. You don't really think about anything else, but we try to get our people into a routine so it takes the thinking out of it. The less you have to think throughout the day, the better off you're going to be. It sounds like a funny statement, but it's true, because we've all been there. We've all been there, like mentally exhausted at the end of the day, and you're thinking like, I can't make one more decision. Like I make decisions all day with budgeting, purchasing new products, designing new products, different ingredients. By the end of the day, I'm mentally exhausted. Like we're quite fortunate to properly supplement through the research we've been doing. Like we know, like I know a clear difference in the early afternoon when I'm kind of slowing down a bit mentally, and I could take different supplements that we often talk about, and that kind of wakes me up, and it gives me back that focus that you need to get through the afternoon into the evening, because we often work into the evening. So morning, Mom. Mom says good morning. So it's important to get into those routines and understand what you're going to be doing to take advantage of the time that we have. Like we only have a certain amount of time to work out. We only have a certain amount of time to meal prep. Like for us, we teach people to prep on the weekends, and I know, like, oh, what if we're away camping? What if we're away visiting family? Whatever it is, but you still have to dedicate your time. And this, like, Sunday is usually the best day to do that. But you have to make time. We say, people like, oh, I'm driving that day, or I'm traveling that day. Like, okay, well then you have to make time on a different day. It doesn't matter what day it is. You have to make a decision that you're going to do that meal prep, or you're going to design your workouts, or plan your workout week in advance. You have to do that, because if you don't do that, your success rate drops significantly. Woo! Excuse me. I usually get breaks. I've been used to having breaks when Dorothy jumps in and talks, but I haven't had my breaks. I haven't had my talking breaks. So Zach is the only one that wants to tell us what time he gets up in the morning. Don't worry, I'm not going to judge you. We get up super early, but we go to bed really early too. I think a lot of people get up later, like 7, and they don't want to say they get up at 7:30, then rush out the house by 8. That's one of the things, like morning routines are very important. We often talk about morning routines. I get the bulk of my work and the most significant work done early in the morning, before 10 a.m. That's when I get most of my work done. And then the other stuff, the other things happen later on. Like it could be marketing, it could be phone calls. I try not to call people in the morning, because people are miserable in the morning. They are, like, they don't want to talk to you in the morning. If you call like first thing, depending on what time zone you are, like if you call right when they open up, they don't want to talk to you. I try to wait. If I'm really excited about something, I try to wait at least a half hour before like opening hours. If they open at 9, then I try to wait till at least 9:30, because who wants to answer the phone? Like they don't want to be at work anyways. And then you call them 5 minutes after they sit down. Probably haven't had their morning coffee and pastry to give them their sugar, their spike in their blood sugar levels, so they can wake up a little bit. Thanks for joining, Ben. Have a great day. Catching the replay. We're live, Violet. We're live right now. She says, summertime and my routine goes out the window. I'm looking forward to restarting all my routines. Thanks for sharing that with us, Violet. It's important. It really is. And a lot of people are in the same boat. So you're not alone, and you don't need to feel guilty about it. Just let that stuff go. But get back on track. A lot of people are like, oh, I feel horrible. I didn't do anything all summer. And then September comes, and then the end of September, like, oh, I feel horrible. I didn't start my routines in September. Like, well, if you don't do anything about it, you're always going to feel horrible because you haven't done anything about it. Violet says, LOL, it's been a crazy morning. It's all good, Violet. We get that. We've got that quite a bit because people watch the videos, the replays, which is nice, but they don't know we're still live. Annette says she's up at 5:20, and then when my office downtown is open, I'm up at 5 and leave the house by 6. Nice. You know what? I don't think it really matters. I like getting up as early as we do because it fits into our lifestyle. Like we go, like I'm in bed often by, I try to be in bed by 8:30, depending on what's going on. Of course, like it varies and changes. Product launches, we're busier here. School, like LA, Alberta, like, but I try to be in bed by like 8:30, 9, and asleep by 9:30. That's a goal. And like for a lot of people, they got kids running around, and I know it's difficult in Alberta. The sun's still up. It doesn't work for everyone, but if you're gonna wake up around 4 a.m., like you have to go to get your sleep, and you have to go to bed. And then I really feel like when I'm up super early, I feel empowered. I feel like I'm getting things done while people are sleeping, or I feel like I don't really feel like we have a lot of competition, especially because of how our business is. Like we do a lot of things in business that other people don't do, and if other people do it, they may do that one thing, but we do that one thing and a few other things. So I don't feel like there's too many businesses that do exactly what we do. So the whole competition thing doesn't really concern me. But I feel like it probably comes back to my sports and playing days of like, I feel like I'm a head above shoulders above the competition because most people aren't going to wake up at 4 a.m. and start grinding it out while, most people are still sleeping. But that's for us. I don't think like just because we wake up super early doesn't mean everyone else has to. Like you wake up when you can. Like, I think people should work out early or should get up early because there's so much more advantages to getting a jump on the day. You can get your workout in. Like for me, I like to start sending messages or emailing while people are sleeping because then I can get more done. Like it's not like, oh, they'll send you a message right back. And then you got to feel like I got to answer, or I'm excited and I want to answer. So if you start emailing at usually like 4 to 5 a.m. is a morning routine, and then I want to be respectful of people, so I won't do anyone. I try not to text anyone or message anyone at 5 a.m. or 5:30. That's usually they're probably up at 7:30. Okay, that's when we put our morning posts up in the morning. Or schedule them. That's when I start messaging people. But if I don't get my morning routine in and I don't get the things, like I don't feel accomplished, like my morning stretches, recovery, I'm doing all kinds of things now to be back like 100%. But cupping, Theragun, like stretches I'm doing. What is it? Egoscu stretches. Very interesting person. That man. I'm getting his book in here today. I hope Monday. But a different modality. There's also I interviewed a guy that does Aldoa stretches and movements and exercises. There's all kinds, so many different modalities, and most people are like, I don't like stretching or yoga, but there's like 100 different things you could do if you want to do recovery. If you want to like focus on recovery, or if you want to be, a lot of people have lower back issues. I didn't realize how many until I started asking these questions, but that's a major concern for a lot of people. You know that most people, this is just research. I'm not a doctor or physician, but I was listening to this interview with these chiropractors, and they were saying that most people have some type of back issue, not just back issues, but like bulging disc or slip disc. But in most cases, they don't feel it, so they don't know about it. In a lot of cases, you don't need surgery to fix that. If it's not acute or if it's not major, your bulging disc, it goes back into where it's supposed to go. So a lot of people don't even know it. And then from the ages of 30 to 50, I think like there was some crazy percentage of people that have bulging discs, or before 30, you don't really experience it. And then after 50, you don't really notice it because you're less active, more relaxed, less active, less muscle, right? Like if you have more muscle, you have more chance of injuries, I think, which kind of sounds funny. You think if you have more muscle, but then you have those people that are lifting heavy weights or doing Olympic lifts, and more chance of getting injured there, or deadlifts. Like people shouldn't be doing deadlifts. Kids, oh my gosh, you see kids or young athletes doing deadlifts, and I'm like, what are you doing? Like, It's such a bad idea. Of course, that's my opinion, which is shared with a number of other people. But there's such a high risk rate for low reward, and but the kids, like the young athletes, they think like, oh, I got to do deadlifts. I'm supposed to, but you don't need to do deadlifts. Violet says, I love my early mornings. Now to get back to them. Teenagers like staying up later. They tuck me in now for sure. Yeah. Different, like it's different. Um, what's the word? Different chemistries, different lifestyle. Everyone's different. Like it's not, you don't do one thing like because one person does it. You find what I like to do is do research around successful people. And then maybe you take 5 different people and you look at all their morning routines. And then you say, okay, this works for me, this works for me, and that works for me. Great. That's my morning routine. I wouldn't say you would go and be like, oh, I love that individual. I'm going to go do exactly what they do. But you don't know their background. In most cases, we don't know their background, their lifestyle. We don't know kids, family, emotional issues. You don't know that stuff. If I say like, get up every day at 5 a.m. and you don't sleep, like, oh, I had a rough sleep. I don't sleep sound. Like in most cases, we sleep very well. Sleep like a baby, like a rock. So if you're not sleeping well and you're trying to get up at 5 a.m., your whole day is going to be messed up instead of being like, okay, I didn't sleep very well that night. I'm going to sleep till 6, but I'm going to make sure I get all my stuff done before the day starts. So you have that extra amount of sleep that you need. Or you're like, okay, no, I said I'm going to get up. I'm going to make it happen. And then you're tired all day and dragging yourself around because you didn't get enough sleep. So it's very difficult to have like a cookie cutter image. And then a lot of people take that stuff out of context. Oh, I heard you talk about this one time, so it didn't work for me. So whatever you say doesn't work. And I'm like, okay. Well, you can't control people. You can't control what people say about you. You can't control about people, what they're going to do. All you can do is focus on yourself and do the best you can. And like that doesn't happen very often for us. But I just mean like if you're looking at one person's program, you have to take out what's best for you. You can't just go and follow one individual and think it's going to work out perfectly. So, good morning, Sue. Sue jumped in here. And then Annette says, I used to work with a lady that got up at 3 a.m. I asked her why, and she says it's a great time to get up. She enjoyed the quiet of downtown Edmonton and did a workout. Awesome. That's fantastic. Like that's everyone, everyone's got to do something different. I'd imagine she went to bed really early. The thing is we started getting up really going to bed early because we how can I say? So I lost my train of thought. It was 8. We'd stay up till 10 o'clock. Like I would imagine the average person. How late do you guys stay up? Does anyone want to share? How late do you guys stay up? So we stayed up till around 10 o'clock. But from around 8 o'clock, like I tried to log off around 7, 7:38, depending on what's going on. But I'm like mentally exhausted. I don't want to work. Like I'm tired. I've been sprinting all day. In most cases, it's a full sprint all day with a few breaks in between. But in the evening, at 8 o'clock, I'm exhausted. I don't want to work. So if I'm going to bed if I'm not working at 10 a.m. if I'm not working from 8 to 10 p.m., I went to bed at 10 p.m. If I'm not working from 8 to 10, I'm just sitting there scrolling like you're binging on like a Netflix or you're sitting there scrolling through your news feed, but it's not productive. Like when I usually scroll through my news feed during the day, it's business. Like I'm posting or I'm commenting for business purposes. So from 8 to 10, there was nothing productive happening. So Dorothy and I had the conversation like, well, what if we went to bed a couple hours earlier, which is around 8:30 instead of 10:30, and then we got up a couple hours earlier. So instead of getting up at 6, we get up at 4. So okay, let's try it. So it just made sense. So once you get into that proper routine, and then people are like, oh my gosh, that's crazy. Why would you get up so early? But there's no difference. Like to me, there's no difference. Like you're still getting your 7 hours of sleep. I like 7. Like 7.5 works really well for me. If I get past 8 on like a lazy Saturday, I feel tired all day. But everyone's different. And you have to also have to consider quality of sleep. Or is it a deep sleep, or are you up throughout the night? Like, are you up peeing, or was it not a deep sleep, or are you stressed out? Like, you wake up with concerns, nightmares, whatever it is. But if I get a nice, like a deep sleep from like 7.5 hours, like, I feel fantastic. That's all I really need. I will say that some people are like, oh, I only need 4 hours of sleep, and I'm like, that's a tough one for me to wrap my head around. I feel like the only people, of course I could be wrong, but the only people that feel like they function well in 4 hours of sleep are the people that don't know what it's like to experience 7 or 8 hours of sleep. Like, some people, for like 20 years, they haven't had a good night's sleep. It's the same thing. Like, we work with people, we do a lot of work around digestion issues and energy, and a lot of people haven't had proper bowel movements for like 20 years. They think it's normal to have a bowel movement 2 or 3 times a week. Like, that's not normal. That's not proper digestion. That's not proper bowel movements. Like, that's constipation. But people come to us all the time and say that. And then they often say, after they start working with us, they're like, I can't believe how great I feel when having bowel movements daily. Like, so that's the same, just a different comparison when it comes to sleep. Like, you need a decent amount of sleep. And if you think you need a few hours of sleep, I would try to suggest having a really deep sleep, extended. But it has to go back to your lifestyle, and like, if you're going to sleep properly, like if you're going to get a deep sleep, or if you're going to get up early, then you need to go to bed early. It has to go hand in hand. And then if you're not able to it takes time. Like, it wasn't just overnight. It was like, okay, because your body's used to going to bed at 10 a.m. We had to train ourselves to go to bed at 8 a.m. Or like, at least you have to be in bed, or like you sit there reading, and like we have an evening routine of relaxing music, and like dim lights, and I'm thinking about the diffuser. I got a diffuser right here. And then like a diffuser going, so maybe you have a little lavender relaxing it. You have to put your body in a relaxed state of mind. The problem is people are eating sugary, fatty foods that are waking them up, like stimulants. And then you're watching like an action movie, or some people might work out in the evening, or maybe you have an argument, or I don't know, who knows? Like, there's 100 different things that could be happening. But then you try to go to sleep right away, and you sit there wide awake. You're like staring at the ceiling, like, I can't sleep. So it takes some time, and it takes some effort, and it takes a whole lot of patience to change around your routines. Zach says he goes to sleep around 10, 11 p.m. Sue says, I was up at 4 today. Another coat of paint on the project. I'm in bed by 8 to 9. Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome, Sue. So, like, everyone's a bit different. My mom said she's in bed between 8 and 9. That's because Max, my brother, and my mother now. Have you taken over Max, Mom? So Max wants my mom to go to bed early, between 8 and 9, because he wants to go to bed, but he doesn't want to go to bed alone. It's really funny. Violet says, that's my problem with this morning. I missed morning meditation. I couldn't get to sleep that last night, so I chose to change my alarm a bit later. But now I'm rushing. Yeah, that's tough. But that's life. And we appreciate you sharing that, Violet. That's life. That's what happens. Like, it's hard to wake up and get your morning routine, and if you don't sleep well. And I think some days you just got to chalk that up as, I'll do the best I can today and do better tomorrow, because life gets in the way. But I would like to mention that I feel like if you let that happen too much, it turns into an excuse. Like, you hear the people like, I don't like the 80-20 rule. Like, not when it comes to nutrition. Maybe fitness. Like, usually, like, if you look at business, did I say fitness? I meant business. If you look at business, 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your efforts. That's proof. It's called the Pareto. What's his name? I haven't read that story in a while. Pareto did a study. I don't think I'm pronouncing his name right. But maybe you know, Zach. Can't pronounce his name right. But at any rate, 80% of your revenue comes from 20% of your efforts. 80% of your income comes from 20% of your clients. And then that's been broken down over and over again. And have a great day, Jane. Thanks for joining us. I'm not going to be here too much longer. I'm going to wrap things up soon. But then you get people that say, 80 20 and every time they have a cheeseburger, oh, this is the 20%, and then they miss their workouts and think, oh, 20%, you know. but they flip so easy. Then it's 80% of you not doing things right, and 20% of you doing what you're supposed to be doing. But we use the excuse of like, oh, it's the 80-20 rule, which is why I don't like it. Pareto. Do you know who I'm talking about, Zach? I don't. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's terrible. 80-20. Oh, let's just do it right now. Let's figure it out. Let's make this happen. 80-20 rule. It said 80-20. Is it gonna tell me? Who made the 80-20 rule? Pareto, yeah. Vilfredo Pareto. Pareto. The Pareto Principle. Oh, Zach says the Pareto Principle. I didn't spell it right for sure. So he's an Italian economist who discovered the principle in 1897 when he observed that 80% of the land in England and every country he subsequently studied was owned by 20% of the population. 80% of the land in England was owned by 20% of the population. So then you have like, I don't know what you call them. Then you have those people that, I don't know what they're called. You have those people that study these types of things. So they're like, okay, 80% of business, or like 80% of businesses are owned by this group of people, for example. There's a number of different ways. Like you can go through your life and you could say 80% of we do, like I've done that before with some of our clients or customers or distributors, whatever it is. 80% of our income is coming from this group of customers and these distributors, and the rest are, or sorry, 20% is 80% of your income is coming from this 20% of people. So you can break it down, and then you can be more efficient. Maybe you offer that 20% more incentives, or it's not just business. Like you can do that in other areas of life. Like 80% of my frustration is coming from this 20% of friends. So maybe you spend a little bit less time with those friends that probably aren't really that positive influence anyway. So there's a lot of things that you could do with the Pareto Principle, Zach. But thanks, Violet. Have a great day too. At any rate, that's I don't even know what I was talking about. I'm gonna wrap things up here. I've almost been here for about an hour, which is what we try to stick around. So thank you for joining me live. I really appreciate the conversations and the questions, and I hope you guys have a great day. It's Friday. I don't even know what's going on this weekend. We do have a lot of greens going out. That's our newest product, and our charcoal is right here too. Our charcoal it's our hottest selling product right now. It's going absolutely bonkers, and I'm trying to figure out if we're gonna get our new shipment in before we sell out again. I hope we do, but if you're looking for charcoal, we can definitely help you out. It's great for detoxing, improved digestion. It helps get rid of those toxins through bowel movement, so it adsorbs to those foods that we know we shouldn't be eating. So it could be Friday night, could be this weekend, some extra drinks. I definitely recommend charcoal. And then we have our newer greens, which are fantastic. The spirulina is better for energy, focus, has tons of protein. Cup for cup, it has more protein than steak, if you could imagine, than red meat. And it's plant-based, it's easy to digest, and it's really good. We take 2 doses of that, actually, first thing in the morning and then early afternoon for that mental focus. And then chlorella these are both algae, by the way. Chlorella is later in the evening, so late afternoon, and then probably after dinner. Chlorella, tons of these are basically our multivitamin. They have 40 vitamins and minerals, super clean, caffeine free, gluten free, dairy free, soy free. And then we take our second dose of chlorella probably after dinner, and then right before bed we have our second dose of charcoal. So that's how we do it. And if you guys need any more details about that stuff, let us know. Otherwise, have a wonderful weekend. Thanks again for joining me, and we'll catch you on the next one. Back here next week for Friday Morning Live. Those of you that are in our Fit fam, we had Jane, my mom, Zach. At any rate, then we had Sue and Suzanne and Violet. Thank you all for joining us, regardless of where you are or what you're doing. Have a great day, and we'll catch up with you soon, I guess.